Hello everybody, we are going live today with Michali to answer a question that's been posted on our forum. We kind of do this every Tuesday. For anybody new, just wait for people to start joining. Hello Performance Talents. Hello Bracha. Just waiting for Michali to pop up and we'll get right to it. Thank you guys for joining. See if I can invite her. Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
See you. How you doing?
Good. It's great to see you too. Okay, shall we? I've got the question already.
Awesome.
Amazing. Okay, so this is from Hope. I feel so down about life. There's so much going on in my life that I can't handle. It's too much and nobody understands. What is the point of living when one has so much pain and suffering? How does someone have peace of mind and soul when the people you live with are dysfunctional? What am I supposed to do? Life is not fair.
Yeah. It was a really sad question, and that's why
Yeah,
we had like an easier question to choose, and I said we're going to go with the more difficult one because just, even just both of us sitting with that pain for this individual, I think is helpful. So I wanted to do that, for this Hope. Just to start, I think that she kind of answered her question in her question, which I think is the power of writing. When you're surrounded by people that are dysfunctional, it's really difficult, and I would like to even say
yeah,
to be functional. So you really found the answer in your question and in your pain. I've heard this, and I think it's true, that we're the average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. So if you're surrounded by, I'm assuming, more than 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 dysfunctional people, you kind of are feeling the average of that. So you might be
yeah.
functional, but you're averaging out in a lot of dysfunction. So the first thing is to be in a place of safety and function as much as possible, or to disappear physically from the place of dysfunction. That is my take. What about you, Michali?
I completely agree with that that guidance. I think that you know, uh, we say with children, that when they're having a hard time regulating or their emotions, we say, take a time out, take some space, take a pause, take a break. And I think that when a person is stuck in an environment where they can't take a pause or break, then it's really, really hard to regulate. And so I'm hearing a lot of sadness and depression and loneliness. And I think that I agree with you. One of the first steps is really to break out of that isolation by reaching out for support. There's so many support groups. You can check out OKclarity has tons of different therapists in its directory. And perhaps medication can be a piece here. I think that, the other piece in terms of like nobody understands, I think that when we are surrounded by dysfunction, it's going to be really hard to find somebody who understands us and who has the skill set to really listen and want to understand, because they're dealing with their own pain and their own issues. So I think, really making sure that this person surrounds themselves with, as you said, like 5 people that are healthy, but also in addition to that, getting that support so that they are not in as much pain and they're not suffering. And then the other piece is, with understanding like the whole comment about like life is not fair. I mean, I would definitely want to unpack that more if I were in a therapy session with this person, because it sounds like that there's a lot of things that this person experienced that need to be processed. I hear there's like this sense of like victimhood and resentment, and that deserves to be processed. And I think there are people that can understand. That's the other piece I'll just say. I would want to give some hope that there are people that do understand.
And I love what you said, that the people that this individual is surrounded with don't have the emotional capacity to provide that, you know, that understanding clearly. And therefore, this individual is feeling that way, which only makes sense. Um, I love everything you said. And I think, you know, obviously getting the right external, surrounding yourself by healthier individuals, whether that's in a support group. And even to add to that, or in lieu of that, if you don't have, you can't move out right now, or you can't be with a bunch of physically healthier people, surround yourself with content from health, like that's insane.
Mm.
So whether that's on YouTube, whether that's Audible, whether that's books, like throw yourself into self-growth, personal development, you know, reading other people's life stories that are healthy and successful and happy and heal themselves.
I
Um,
love that. I
that's going,
love that.
you're, you know, you can surround yourself with the average of those 5 books. If you like spend 2 hours a day on each of those, on something like that, you will be a lot better than how you're feeling now. But also
Yeah.
that it's, what you're feeling now is totally normal, but you need to make some changes, I think, and that and that life does get better, even if it doesn't get easier. Um,
Yeah,
so
it's not a complete science that what we get out is what we put in,
mhm,
but we definitely get something from what we put in. And it sounds like what you're saying is that this person needs to put in some things.
correct.
And even if they're living with people that have dysfunction, you can
Mhm,
always go outside. I mean, if this person, I don't know if they're on the East Coast, but you know, it's definitely cold now, but getting some fresh air, bundling up, I
correct.
think is so important and helpful for our mental health, especially during a pandemic. And I think that even if they live with these people, they can always create distance by being out as much as possible, either by themselves or with those other people. But I love that. I think that's such a great point in terms of like the podcasts and you know, reading. I think that's so huge for support.
Right. Just to let end off, like, not to, maybe this information is like overwhelming for somebody that's so struggling. I can imagine that it's like just feels too much because the post was written from a place of a lot of pain. So I just want to like send that. My last message should be that you don't have to do all these changes at once. I think at the point of our sharing is that there are things that you can do in tiny steps that will make you feel better and get healthier and create a new and different and completely healed and healthy life for yourself. And you don't have to take any step today or tomorrow or this week. But when you're ready to take a step, there are steps for you to take, and make them as tiny as possible so that you don't get overwhelmed because you're in a very fragile place. So be gentle with yourself.
Love it.
Alrighty. Thank you, Michali.
Thank you so much, Faye. So good to see you. I'll see you next week.
Yes, looking forward. Thank you everyone for
Me
tuning in.
too.
Take care.
Bye.